You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown! Yo, what's poppin', YouTube? We're back here at The Lone Blown. Thanks so much for tuning in. And before we get started, if you're liking any of the content on the channel, or if you're all hyped up about this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know what you like in the comments below. Jumping into the main content of this video, we are doing it on BattleStyles today, as you can see in the thumbnail. BattleStyles is one of the newest sets in Pokemon TCG. It's just been announced. It hasn't actually come out. It comes out in March for us, I think for everyone outside of Asia. So I'm hyped because it introduces some new mechanics. So this video is kind of all hyping it up. I'm going to be checking out the Pokebeach page, letting you know what I think about some of the cards, what I think about some of the mechanics. But yeah, it's not going to be our newest set coming out. Our newest set coming out is going to be Shiny Fates. That's coming out in February. But Shiny Fates is mainly a reprint set / set for the collectors. I think there's only like 10 new cards or something like that that are coming out. And most of them are borderline meh. So maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you feel anything different about Shiny Fates in the comments below. But either way, I'm gonna jump into some of the cool cards from BattleStyles, go over what we have released, and just kind of explain how the mechanic works a little bit. Perfect, let's jump in there. So first and foremost, shout out to Pokebeach. I mean, they always have the absolute first on everything when it comes to these new set releases, promo cards coming out, future things coming out. They always have the translations. They know what's going on. It's a huge consistency crutch for me, especially in the Pokemon social media. So what it reads here is March's next set is called BattleStyles, and it will introduce a new battle style mechanic to the TCG. So the best way to do it is, here you can see an Urshifu V labeled as a Rapid Strike card and a Houndoom labeled as Single Strike cards. These are two of the new battle styles. So this is heavily based off of the Isle of Armor DLC. So you got the Rapid Strike Urshifu right here. You can see up here it has the Rapid Strike. So the Rapid Strike cards are going to work with the other Rapid Strike cards in the same way like tag team cards work with tag team cards. So cards like Tag Call can search out tag team Pokemon. Like if there was a Rapid Call, which does not exist, it would search out Rapid Strike Pokemon. So anything that could search at a Rapid Strike could search at a Rapid Strike Pokemon, Trainer, Energy, anything like that. And then there's the Single Strike card, you can see, which would work the same way. And even in the ability, once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Single Strike Energy and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon. So it makes it pretty clear. And then, of course, we have the set releasing March 19th, which should be exciting. So Single Strike cards are delivering hard-hitting attacks. Rapid Strike cards are about sneaky technical strikes. Trainers and energies can have the battle styles too. All the battle styles will be able to work together. The goal of the new mechanic is encourage players to build deck on focus on one battle style. Basically, at the end of the day, I think that seems like a press release statement. Nothing is like you can't play Rapid Strike and Single Strike Pokemon in the same deck. You just have to be careful of which Pokemon you have. But apparently this is a mechanic that's going to be going on and on for future sets for a little bit. So we might be in a Rapid Strike, Single Strike block for the next like 3-4 sets or something. So yeah, the mechanic will continue in future sets. Not all cards will feature a battle style. The mechanics essentially a modern version of Gym Leader, Team Aqua Magma, Hoenn, SP, etc. grouped together under a certain label to work together. And then it says whatever, there's going to be 12 Pokemon B, 6 Pokemon V Max. So we haven't seen what's whatever. So we can see what's going on here. So we'll go over the English cards because they did release an English trailer for the sets. And I'll just give you my impressions on some of the cards. I think Emboar is pretty cool. There's a card below that we'll go over in a little bit. There's Mustard Stance, which allows you to fish out an Emboar and put it into play. Very similar to Archie's Ace in the Hole or Maxie's. Just being able to grab any kind of stage Pokemon and summon it into play instead of going from like to Pignite to Emboar. Fighting Fury Stance, I think, is super cool. Just doing 30 damage extra, especially if you can summon this with a Mustard, doesn't sound bad. Just having a plus 30, 180 HP Pokemon in play, I like it. Octillery to me is a little bit more interesting. Octillery again, Rapid Strike Stage 1, so you can get it out pretty easily. Stage 1 Pokemon have seen success. Like, we've seen Octillery being played in Buzzwole decks in the past. We've seen Claydol get played in other decks from yesteryears. So it's not uncommon to have a Stage 1 Pokemon in your deck. You could search your deck for a Rapid Strike card and reveal it and put it into your hand. So, kind of how I said Rapid Strike could be anything, this could be searching trainers, energies, and Pokemon, which makes gameplay incredibly deep, just because you have a lot of options. Whenever there's more options, that's usually when Pokemon becomes a much better format. Like, you're not ever really going to attack with Waterfall, at least I don't think so, but this seems to be a very good card. Being able to search fish energy out of your deck whenever you need Pokemon, like, I really like Rapid Strike Search. Empoleon V, first and foremost, whoever invented the idea of Rule Box, which you can see Rule Box here at the bottom, I'll go over that in a second. Thank you first and foremost. I don't think there's any card developers or anything like that watch my channel, but if they do, you the MVP. As long as the Pokemon is in your active spot, your opponent's basic Pokemon in play have no abilities, except for Pokemon with a Rule Box. Rule Box basically encompasses any Pokemon that have a special rule with them, so V, GX, EX, Pokemon that are worth 2 to 3 prize cards, things like that. As far as I can tell, we'll probably get an official ruling on Rule Box to see if there's anything else, but I think that going forward, now we don't have to worry about Pokemon printing out. This works with only GX and V Pokemon. So things like Scoop Up Net make for reasons like Shaman to get bans. If they just do Rule Box or errata cards to say Rule Box on them, that would be very helpful in general to just make the game a little bit more linear, especially with new releases. And kind of that it works with the expanded format instead of having to ban things or a card gets too overpowered or it's not intended to be played the same way it was ever intended to be played. There's a double energy that works with this Pokemon too, that works for both water and fighting Pokemon that are Rapid Strike. I really like the Empoleon V. It might fall into the same spot as Vigavolt V in our format, where it's just currently not good enough. Because it has to be opponent's basic Pokemon have no abilities except for Pokemon with a Rule Box. So I don't know too many Pokemon that have abilities that I can think of, because most Pokemon play V and GX abilities. Like, you're dropping Crobats to Denes, like there's Mewtwo, there's Jirachis, but realistically I'm not about the Empoleon V right away. But we'll see in the future what cards kind of get released out of this set. Or this mechanic. Mienshao is kind of a hit and run kind of Pokemon. There is a double energy that works with Spinning Whip. I don't know exactly what you'd put in. Maybe you'd send up Empoleon V to stop their abilities. I mean, decks like this sometimes see success. It's just one of those things where this card doing a hit and run into the deck. Confusion's kind of cute too. I don't hate that more and more that I think about it. I see how, I mean, I played a deck to win the Players' Cup that used Tandem Shock over and over to try to ruin everything that my opponent's doing. Spinning Whip, confusion and paralyzation, thank you, are very similar. Obviously, being paralyzed is worse than being confused, but maybe the 30 damage can be hot. Then we get into Urshifu, one of the new Pokemon. I like this Pokemon just in general, that you could search 2 energies and then you get attack with Impact Blow. One of the better Pokemon Vs that can turn into a VMAX Pokemon. Get it with the single strike. I kind of get like Primal Groudon vibes more from this than I get it from Colossal VMAX. Just the fact that like you can build up a large attack sounds cool. You do have to discard energies, but I mean, there are ways to attach extra energies to this Pokemon, such as the Houndoom Single Strike. So that's one of the things that could be cool. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I think that this card's borderline unplayable for now, but we don't know what else comes out. I just think the discarding all energies effect is a little bit tough, but I mean, there is also a scroll that you can attach to this Pokemon, and it does have 330 HP. so that might be the best way to play the card. Then there's the Rapid Strike Urshifu, which I don't think any of its attacks down here are great beyond it having access to a double energy. But the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, I do like. It has an attack similar to the Raichu and Raichu GX, and it also has a similar attack to Golizopod GX. So Pokemon that I've liked and that I've seen success with. Gale Thrust, going from the bench to the active spots, doing 150, ain't bad. And then Gmax Rapid Flow, you could ping 2 Pokemon for 120. Let's say if you're playing against Baby Blacephalon, if they don't have Mew in play, you could knock out 2 Baby Blacephalons, leaving them with virtually no options. So that would be very cool. Mad Party, knocking out a couple of their Pokemon. I kind of like the idea of even having telescopic sights, attaching it to this Pokemon, or telescopic scope, whichever one it's called. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It does 30 extra damage to your opponent's GX Pokemon. So you could do 120, or their GX and V Pokemon, so you could do 120 plus 30, 150, and then you could Zigzagoon, ping, knock out 2 of their 2 prize card Pokemons. I think this Pokemon's sneaky enough that I like it. Houndoom, I think that anything that you could summon this into play with Mustard, or it's a stage 1 Pokemon, shouldn't be too hard. Then you can attach energy to your opponent's, or to your Pokemon, single strike energy. So I mean, I like that in general. Energy acceleration is always good. If this ends up turning to be good, that's to be determined, but the ability is good in general. Tyranitar here is basically existing just to exist at this point. Currently, we don't have a really great way of accelerating energies onto it. It doesn't really do enough damage. To me, I think the art on this card's amazing. If you're a collector watching the channel, I think the card looks super cool. But it's one of those things where I'm just not really about this card too much. You can see we got the cool set logo here. Looks awesome. Got the pack art Pokemon. You can see what's coming out in the ETBs, the promo blisters. The trailer's also really cute. And by cute, I mean it's busted. Moving here into some of the cards that I've talked about that haven't looked at. We got Billowing Fan. So Billowing Fan basically allows you to return a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon to the bottom of their deck. So it's kind of like a weird reprint of Enhanced Hammer, or a weird reprint of Lost Remover. In some ways, putting it to the bottom of the deck is terrible. In other ways, I think putting it as special energy at the bottom of your opponent's deck is amazing, because you could just reset stamp your opponent, and just like, if it's like an aromatic grass energy or hiding dark energy, you're still removing the energy, and you might be able to shuffle it up so they don't get a supporter, that they end up drawing that energy instead. So in some ways it's kind of better, but it's still removing an energy from play, which is huge. It is a Rapid Strike card, so again, you can see the Rapid Strike. You could see that it continues on. There's Mustard Rapid Strike. You can put this card, you can only play it if it's the only card in your hand. You put a Rapid Strike Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench and draw 5 cards. So if you want to get a Rapid Strike card, you could even summon something like the Rapid Strike Urshifu onto your bench. I don't know what Pokemon you want to summon, but maybe usually you want to leave it to Pokemon that have to evolve, because they're much more difficult to put into play. I don't think this card's too hard to use. I was talking over on the Elhorn cast with the fellow host Matty Tates, and he wasn't really feeling these cards, but I think history is going to repeat itself. I mean, he wasn't really feeling it has to be your only card in your hand. I should correct myself. And Maddie, if you're watching this video, let me know in the comments if I'm roasting you. Basically, I think that with Maxies and Archies, they were both played to great success in Standard and in Expanded. I think that this card's going to be no different. We just have to see what Pokemon you could really summon into play if it's worthwhile to play this card. But the idea of this card is absolutely like S tier, and it's amazing. Rapid Strike Energy. Anything that's a double energy is usually playable in some capacity. You can only attach to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, not that it won't just count as a basic energy or a colorless energy. Has to be on a Rapid Strike Pokemon. It provides water and fighting, but it provides only 2 energies at one time. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Load this up onto an Urshifu, it counts as 2 energies. Load this up onto that Empoleon, it counts as 2 energies. You cannot put it on a single strike Pokemon. Every single reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. Single strike is very similar. It's 1 energy, but it does plus 20 It has to be attached to only a single strike Pokemon. Dark and Fighting Energy, 1 at a time, 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Kind of huge, giving me that strong energy vibe. I like how the energies are different types and stuff like that. Seems really cool to me. There's Vitality Jar. You could choose 2 single strike energy cards from your discard pile and shuffle them into your deck. I think just getting them back sounds kind of cool, especially if you're building a single strike deck, but we'll see if it's worthwhile. Like, a lot of decks don't even play Ordinary Rod, but with only 4 energies, we'll have to see if it's worthwhile. Then there's Mustard Single Strike Stance. This card's slightly better than the other one, in my opinion, because you can get it from your deck and put into play as a single strike. So again, this would be a great way to get out that Emboar, arguably the best way to get out the Emboar. So if Emboar becomes worthwhile, then that card's worthwhile to play. We got Rapid Strike Scroll, Whirlpool Scroll. This is actually one of those failed mechanics that I think appears over and over again in Pokemon TCG. Attaching tools or items or anything to a Pokemon and making them have an extra attack usually is going to be a failure, because the attacks on the Pokemon you choose are usually better. This, I don't really see it being any different. Maybe it's a one of tech in the Urshifu VMAX deck. Maybe? Like, maybe, question mark? We'd have to see what other cards get released, but in the past we've seen it's like attached to this Pokemon that has Tackle and it could do this. None of those cards ever got played. I think the most successful one is maybe like the one that you could attack to a Genesect EX back in the day, or there's like Technical Machines. There's not really many attacks that you ever attach to, just because it takes an extra card and it's usually better to play another Pokemon, and the attacks on these cards are usually weaker. Maybe the fact that you could search it out with a Rapid Strike, some kind of summon, or maybe it's going to work with the 120 and then doing 30 to all the Pokemon over and over again. That might be cool. I actually like this one though. I think that having it adds Outrage 10+10 for each damage counters. With Pokemon having a lot of HP, having some kind of Outrage attack for a single energy can always be huge. I think that this one's just like arguably better than the first one. Then we only have like a few more cards. We have Tower of Darkness. You could discard a single strike card from your hand and draw 2 cards. I actually like this a lot. It gives me like Heat Factory, Scorched Earth vibes. I think pitching a particular Pokemon isn't that hard, especially like when you have it on the cards too. Like, you even pitch a Tower of Darkness. You could just pitch cards in general. I like it a lot. Just to draw extra cards. To me, it sounds like it's just gonna make decks a little bit more consistent. Even if it's not even a single strike deck, you could just throw some single strike cards in your deck and start pitching them away. Then there's Tower of Waters. Each Rapid Strike Pokemon has 2 retreat costs less. I mean, cards like this typically aren't outrageous, but Air Balloon is a playable card. I think that Switch is arguably one of the most played cards of all times. And then even going back a little bit more, like Sky Arrow Bridge was played, and that was just like, I just think that retreats, switching kind of things are important. So if this finds a spot, it's good. If it doesn't, it exists. I don't even know if we're gonna get Honey in our set. Draw a card for each V Pokemon on your opponent's bench. I think that this is a card that would be a lot better after rotation, because we still have GX Pokemon. If it said like Rule Box or something, I'd say it's a little bit better, but you could only ever draw up to 5 cards with this card. It's just I don't think it's at where it's at right now. So I'm not really about it. And I think oh, you want to know what? We actually got some Urshifu promos. So 30, 180, meh. 40, 90, 22 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, meh. You got some of these Pokemon as well. You can see that they have the Rapid Strike and Single Strike. Again, I don't really think there's too much else going on with this set. You can see that there's some promotional materials. So maybe these are going to be some of the V Pokemon that we get into our sets. If so, I'm not really about it too much right now. It depends on what we get overall, but at the end of the day, I think that this set's absolutely super cool. So be sure to check it out. When you are checking it out, feel free to go to PTCGO pick up your code cards for this set or any other sets. You can use code ZELASAGE to save 5% off your order. You can also check that out in the description below. So that's what we got going on for today. I really hope that everyone enjoyed watching this video and they're a little bit hyped up with the BattleStyle cards. I mean, I think cards like this add a layer of depth to the game, something that we're just kind of missing right now. And the fact that it's going to be a reoccurring theme for the foreseeable future is super exciting. I mean, I played a lot back in 2010. I played with the hold-on cards, the SP cards, all these different kinds of Team Rocket cards. So I just like that I'm able to share my experience from playing those cards, and I think that's really going to help me help you all going forward. So stay tuned. I'm probably going to be releasing some decks and stuff like this once the set's released. Probably going to do some tabletop simulator vids, stuff that's cool like that. So I mean, I hope y'all enjoyed that. That being said, that's really it for this video. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. And remember to subscribe to the channel. We're on our path to trying to get 1,000. So every single subscriber helps and counts. So thank you so much to everyone who supports this channel. Have yourself a wonderful night. Peace out. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks and have yourself a great one.